morning friends. Today we are going to see the next topic of our first unit, which is nothing but the spur gear in theory of motion 2. Okay, that next topic is nothing but the law of gearing. So let us see what exactly law of gearing is. Law of gearing is also known as condition for constant velocity ratio. So it is known as condition for constant velocity ratio. So for which we need one diagram. So that diagram we are going to draw now. Okay. So this is nothing but the axis of both the gears. If we consider this particular point as an O2, which is nothing but the center of this gear. Say for example, the profile of this particular gear is nothing but an arbitrary profile. Okay, like this. So this will be the O2 will be the center of this particular gear. Then, if this is nothing but the O1 gear, which is having, let us enlarge this particular profile like this, so that diagram will be good for the people, so that we can understand it. Okay, like this, isn't it? Then another gear tooth profile, which is like this, isn't it? So this is nothing but the actual meeting point of this gear two. Okay, both gears. So this point will be denoted by point K. If we draw a line which is nothing but the tangent to both these gears passing from K point, like this, isn't it? So this will be nothing but the line TT, which is the tangent to both these gear tooth profiles, but passing through point K. At the same time, if we draw a perpendicular line to the tangent, a common normal, say for example, a common normal which is nothing but the N dash, which is the normal to this particular tangent. So it will intersect this particular axis at say point P. Are you getting me? At say point P. Then if we draw a line from this particular center O1 on the N dash line, then it will be a perpendicular line, and here if we denote this point N, so it will form a triangle like this at an angle alpha, isn't it? So this is nothing but the angle alpha. Similarly, if we draw a perpendicular line on this N dash perpendicular line, so this will be point N, isn't it? And if we join this O2 and K, it will form a triangle. So this angle will be angle beta. Okay, this angle will be angle beta. This is nothing but the gear 1, which is rotating with say omega 1, isn't it? This is gear 2, which is, if it is rotating clockwise, it will rotate anti-clockwise. So it will rotate in anti-clockwise sense with omega 2, isn't it? Now, if we draw this time, so what we are going to get is, let this TT be the common tangent and n dash be the common normal to it. Okay, the normal to the curves which is at point of contact K, okay, of two particular mating gear. From point O1 we have drawn a perpendicular line to this particular normal and we got point M. Okay, then we have got point N on this particular normal passing from O2. Okay, so if we let V1 be the velocity, V1, this is nothing but the component of velocity V1 along NN is equal to V1 cos alpha, which will be V1 cos alpha. Then V2 common component of velocity along NN will be V2 cos beta. Done. Now we are aware that if a common velocity has to be drawn, isn't it? If the mating teeth to remain in contact with each other while transmitting the motion, then the component of this particular velocity must be equal. Then it must be equal so that motion will be transferred. Okay, so for that particular thing, V1 should be equals to, V1 cos alpha should be equal to V2 cos beta, isn't it? For V1 we can write as omega 1, okay, omega 1 into O1 k, omega 1 into O1 k into cos alpha. Similarly, for V2, omega t into O2k, into cos of beta, isn't it? Now, from triangle O1 MK, what we can write up for cos alpha? Cos alpha will be equal to O1 m upon O1 k. Cos alpha will be O1 m upon O1 k. Similarly, cos of beta will be equal to, in this particular triangle, isn't it? What it will be? O1 O2n upon O2 k, isn't it? So if we substitute this particular value in this particular equation, then what we are going to get is omega 1 into O1 k into cos alpha O1 m upon O1 k. So this O1 and this O1 will get cancelled, which will be equals to omega 2 into O2 k into O2n upon O2 k. So this O2 k will get cancelled. So what is remaining is nothing but the omega 1 into O1n is equal to omega 2 into O2n. So for omega 1 upon omega 2, omega 1 upon omega 2 will be equal to O2n upon O1m. So omega 1 upon omega 2 will be O2n upon O2m. Okay. Now, if we consider, as of now we have considered this particular triangle, okay, and this particular triangle. If we consider triangle O1MP, O1MP, this particular triangle we are talking about, and next triangle is O2P, isn't it? O2PN, and triangle O2NP. Okay, so as this pitch point P, this is nothing but the pitch point P, which is traveling. If we draw a pitch circle or the pitch circle radius from it, it will be like this, isn't it? So this is what is the pitch point P, isn't it? In which pitch point P lies on the intersection of an common normal and the center line O1, O2, isn't it? So what we can write from this is, O2n is upon O2p is equal to O1m upon O1p. Similarly, hence O2n upon O1m is equal to O2p upon O1p. So if we substitute this over here, what we are going to get is omega 1 upon omega 2 is equal to this, we are going to put O2p upon O1p. So this is what we are getting if we are comparing these two particular triangles. Are you getting it? So this is what is the equation which follows the law of Gauss, and the statement for the same is, or what we can conclude for this particular equation is, we can say that angular velocity is inversely proportional to the ratio of the distance of pitch point from its respective centers. That is what we can conclude from this particular point. Therefore, in order to have, now there are different things, okay, different things we can comment from this particular equation. So what are those comments? Firstly, in order to have a constant angular velocity, if you want to have constant angular velocity for all the mating position, now this particular mating position we have drawn for single mating position, okay, but as this gear is going to be rotated in clockwise sense, this is going to be rotated in anti-clockwise sense. So for all the mating positions, okay, this gear, the pitch point P must be a fixed point, and this is nothing but the pitch point, and this point P is nothing but the called as pitch point. Okay. In other words, what we can state for this particular law of gearing is that the common normal at the point of contact between the pair of teeth must always pass through the pitch point for all the positions. Means what? If we have drawn a common normal for the two different mating gears, then it must pass from the pitch point P, isn't it? That is what is the first statement. Secondly, for all the positions, okay, then of the mating gears, then this is the fundamental condition which must be satisfied while designing the profile of the teeth of gears. So this is what is the fundamental position or the basic requirement which must be achieved, or which must be fulfilled. Okay, that is what is the basic need, and this is nothing but the law of gearing or condition of correct gearing. I hope you have understood this. See, what is the thing is that, if, in other words, we will discuss this. Okay, if two different gear profiles are there, okay, this is gear profile 1 which is rotating at this particular center O1. This is gear profile 2 or gear 2 which is rotating at center O2. Okay, they are meeting at point K, so this is nothing but the point K. Okay, if we draw a tangent from it, okay, passing from K, then if we draw a tangent passing from this particular N, okay, now if we draw a normal to this particular tangent which is passing from this point K, it is intercepting the axis of this gear 2. So we have denoted that particular point P, okay, and by the way that particular point P is nothing but the pitch point P. So for every what we can say mating position, if we want to have a constant velocity ratio, so this, if you draw a common normal passing from this particular point K, it must pass from this pitch point, and that is what we have found out, that if you want to maintain this constant velocity ratio, it must be passed from pitch point. So actually it is inversely proportional to O2P upon O12P. That is what is the law of gearing. Thank you so much for this particular lecture. We will see the next part in the next lecture. Thank you.